Hey there, beautiful mum. Welcome to Fannying About, the podcast that keeps it raw, real, and ridiculously relatable. Whether it's parenting fails, fitness wins, or just learning to laugh through the madness, this is your go-to space for honest conversations, expert advice, and a little bit of fun along the way. Hi, I'm Lara, a sleep-deprived mum with 2 boys. I'm a personal trainer with a prolapse, surviving on burgers and coffee. Each week, I'll bring you tips, tricks, and a whole lot of real talk to help you navigate motherhood, rediscover your mojo, and feel good in your own skin again. So if you're tired of pretending you've got it all figured out and ready to embrace the chaos, this is your space. Subscribe to Fannying About wherever you get your podcasts, and let's figure it out together. Leaks, laughs, and all. Because life's too short to take too seriously, and your pelvic floor deserves better.
I'm very excited today. I've got a special guest. Some of you who've been listening for a while may know this voice, and some new people may not know this voice, but you will get used to this Irish voice. We've got Mags back. Mags!
Hello, how are you?
She's just getting warming up into it. I asked her if she wanted to do the intro to surprise everyone, but she was like, no, give me time. I need to work up to the podcast talking again. Mags has moved away. She moved away from me. You're my only wing woman at the moment. I sent a message to Mags and said, how about we do this topic? Because for some reason it keeps coming up, and both of us were like, why? Why are people still asking this question? And the question was posted in my community saying, what do you do to stay motivated or get motivated to exercise? And then they've asked, what are some things that you put into your routine to get out and actually move? And I said to Mags, let's talk about this again, and then hopefully put some things to bed around like motivation to exercise. This is quite close to our hearts, isn't it? Like as soon as we talk about it, we're like, la, 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 la. Right, okay, let's just talk about this on an episode. So tell me, I'm eager to hear what you have to say, because you're like, yes, Lara, I have a few things that I want to bring up, but I'll save it.
Well, I suppose number one is like, what's your why? Why are you doing it? You know, like for me personally, obviously, I had my birth trauma 10 years ago, and that was a massive trigger because I knew nothing at all about strength training. I was always a cardio girl, and that was taken away from me, so I had to learn a new way. I struggled, you know, for probably a good 14 months to figure out this new body and what to do and where to go and get there. And that's been my why, I suppose, from day dot, to be a stronger person for my child. And now I have another child, so for my children. And last year I found out my mother actually has osteoporosis, so it's in our genes. So again, that's my other why. I want strong muscles to have strong bones. And you know that we build that strength every day. So, you know, you kind of have to sit there and go, why am I doing this? You know, because if we look at exercise as punishment, we're not going to do it, because, you know, punishment is a negative, isn't it? So if you can change that mindset to a positive, that's going to give you the drive to want to get up every single morning and move your body. So you've got to look at it like we hear it numbers of times with like your old woman body. If you don't look after your body now, your old woman body is going to be a lot harder to look after, because you're going to have lots of weak bones and muscles around your frame, you know? So yeah.
It is like that, isn't it? It is thinking about, why are you going to do this class? Why are you going out for a run? It's not the run, it's the reason behind all of this. And I keep hearing this, and I used to hear it a lot. What's your why? Go and do something that you enjoy. I think it's only really, really clicked in the last 3 years for me. Like really, like that's the big thing. And it's not relying on motivation either. I wanted to put that in, because so many people are like, well, I'm not motivated to do it. I'm like, I am someone who loves exercise and I love the feeling of it, but I get it. A lot of people aren't motivated to do it, but you don't rely on motivation. If you put it in your diary, it's in the diary, then you just do. It's building the system, isn't it? It's staying consistent. If you can only manage 5 minutes a day, put that 5 minutes in your diary. This is my non-negotiable. If you are not motivated to do it anyway, because you have put that in the diary. 100% you'll feel better after doing that 5 minutes. And then you may even feel like, actually, I'm going to do another 5 minutes because I feel good.
Definitely. But even as well, like, you know, like I'll just give an example myself. This morning I was training and like today's one of my heavy lifting days and Rui's hanging off the, the barbell, you know, and I'm kind of like, mate, come on, like seriously. And, you know, I just had to say, keep chatting with him and stuff. And yeah, it was annoying and I could have just thrown it all away and be like, nah, I'm not doing this today, you know, but I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you're super strong, Rui, but can mommy lift it now? You know, and when mommy's on her break, you can have it. And like doing my lat pull downs, he sits between my legs, and I've got this little, like, you know, like a hickey because of the friction of him. And you know, you can't get angry because you're like, oh, look, he's involved. And I think that's as well. I get a lot of people saying to me, oh, I'm just so busy with the kids, I can't do anything. And you have to make, again, if you're not strong enough for your kids and not there, like your kids will grow up under your eyes and you'll struggle to keep up with them. Do you know what I mean? Like giving that time. And I, as I say to people, you don't have to give yourself an hour. Like, obviously, me and you are PTs. We know how to plan programs and stuff. And you know, I have a different goal to you, and you know, we all have different goals, and my goals are a different way. Yeah, I train a bit longer, but if I have to cut it short, I'll cut it short. I don't have to train an hour every day of the week. You know what I mean? And I think that's what people need to understand too, is that if you can only give yourself 20 minutes, that's all you can give yourself. And that's what I say to all my clients is like, just cut the program in half. Yeah, we've done 40 minutes, cut it in half. That's 20 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And think about it that way, you know, because we all have excuses and even the motivation and all this stuff. But sometimes a lot of people have the excuses, oh, I can't do that, I can't do this, can't do that. If you sit on your phone, and I get distracted on my phone, especially on Instagram, because I'm looking at all the different things and whatever, and I get so carried away, and then like, oh my God, I've sat on my phone for an hour. But you could have put that hour into the gym, you know, and I'm not telling people to put their phones away because I enjoy watching different things on Instagram. Some stuff, as you know, is a bit kind of OTT, but other stuff you learn, like especially the people we follow for education. I like their stuff on social media. Do you know what I mean? But you get so carried away and absorbed in that that you forget about, okay, actually, I could have given that 10 minutes in the gym, you know?
I love everything you've said there. I just want to go back and be like, the being okay with being not perfect. Like you've got a child hanging off you. Yeah, you couldn't complete your whole program. You maybe could only do 5 minutes, but imagine if you had consistently done 20 minutes a day rather than, I can't do my 40-minute workout, so I'm not going to bother. It's those being okay with having a child hanging off you, being okay with it not being perfect, but you're still just doing, and then that can build momentum. It's just, I think often it is just starting. Like it's the realizing just this small start, like do the 5 minutes, realize actually it's not a big deal and actually I can do it. And then it'll build on that momentum. I often think like you get overwhelmed because life is overwhelming. You're juggling 20,000 plates. You know, we know as mums, there's lots of things going on. And sometimes it can feel like another thing on the checklist to do. But that's when we need to step back and be like, okay, this is going to give me more energy to be able to do the things on my list. And if it feels like a chore, it's going to be, like you said, a drain. What can you do so it doesn't feel like a chore? What are you going to get excited about doing? What's going to be that 5 minutes that's going to make you feel better? And then you realize, actually, 5 minutes I can do. Now, next week, I can do more. I can do 10 minutes. I actually heard a song in the car a couple of days ago, and it said something like, it was a rap thing. I have no idea what the song was, and I can't rap. But it said something like, if you don't have time, stop watching TV. And that really sticks with me because we always have time to watch TV. We always make time in the evening to watch TV.
You're going to laugh at me. I don't watch TV.
Well, exactly. Because you've got other things going on, or because we're in bed, we're shattered. We just go to bed with the children. So it's like if you are doom scrolling for 2 hours in the evening, or you're spending 2 hour or two watching TV, that's not a bad thing if that's your thing. But if you're saying you don't have time, maybe that is where you can negotiate your time. Because I hear this reason a lot where people say, I just don't have the time. You're making a choice to spend your time on something else. And then it brings back to the why, doesn't it? What's your why?
What's your why? Yeah. And even as well, like, as you know, when our kids were younger, like, oh man, doing a workout could take 5 hours. Because they're calling on you, they're, you know, dragging you. And like,
breastfeeding.
And when you're doing your core rehab, you really have to focus on breathing and get that, into your
Yeah.
abdominals working and stuff. And it was really like, it was frustrating because you're like, oh my God, just let mommy do this. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
like, see, our kids have been around us since they've been born and us exercising because it's their life. And like, as I said, really hung off me today, but tomorrow he'll probably ignore me. You know what I mean? Like it's never the same every day. You know what I mean? So,
No, exactly.
and I think that's what people need to find out as well. Oh, the kids will be annoying me when I'm working out. It's not going to be forever. I think of the positive energy you're giving those kids of like, mommy's in here getting strong. And like, I just get at my kids, like really pick up a dumbbell or pick up a thing. I'm strong. Look at my muscles, And it's
Yeah,
actually
they
for me
watch
personally,
it.
it's very rewarding to hear my 3-year-old come out with a statement like that. Do you know what I mean? So
And you
yeah.
don't realize how much they watch you. I've been bringing Arthur to my sessions on a Thursday because I've got no backup. And I came back and I was doing something in the kitchen and he said, Mummy, I want you to do this. And he started showing me some exercises to do on the mat. I had to do some jumping off a block. I was like, this is intense. But he was like, and now do 3 more. And I was like, oh my goodness, you're watching everything that I've been doing in there. And that was me thinking that he wasn't because he was just playing with a toy or throwing a ball. But they
Oh,
see
they're
it.
watching everything. And that's what I think we have to look at as well as everything we do, our kids are our shadows. And as well, back even to going for a run. As you know, myself and Sean have started back with the park runs and, talking to him about the reasons why I do it. And for me, I zone out completely in my park run. It's the best medication I could have for my mental health. And I just need to add in another run during the week to try and beat Sean now because he's quicker than me. I'm 31 minutes, he's 28. I, so like it's just amazing. And like again, teaching Sean that, like, because Sean, as you know, is a competitive BMX racer, which is a really fast, intense sport. And a lot of people have said, oh, he shouldn't be doing running because it'll is that the word? How do I say? Take, with his BMX, like, me with my dyslexia.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
So like, it'll ruin his BMX if he runs. And I'm like, oh my God, it's for his heart and lungs. Shut up. He is 10, literally 10, And I think people get so wrapped up in that, oh, I'd better not do that because I'll wreck that. But it's like, no, how good are his heart and lungs at 10 years of age? And like, he's made it through to his cross country national or regional level, but he had to go first and do a level. Like, it was actually frightening the amount of kids walked that oval. In his category, there was 3 kids that actually could run 2Ks. And, it kind of scared me because I was like, wow, what's happening in the world? And then the older group, the year 6 class, there was 5 kids that ran in that group. The rest of them didn't want to run. They walked the oval. And it was just like, what's happening in society that our kids aren't actually moving their bodies as much anymore? Are they doing too much sports? Because we see some kids are doing loads and loads and loads of sport. And is that why moms don't have time? Because they're so busy bringing the kids to 10 sports. You know what I mean? And then when their school sports is on, where they don't need moms or dads around, they there's no one to participate in them. But
Let's talk about the motivation side of it because people still want to rely on that a bit. I don't know if you've heard of Mel Robbins. She does a podcast.
yeah, I have heard of her. Yeah.
She started out with this 5-second rule of, or you need to just not let your brain kick in to start thinking of the reasons why I shouldn't get up and do the exercise. Don't give it time. So if you set your alarm for a time, because that's your only window that you can do it before the kids wake up, maybe you're out of bed. So the alarm goes off before you start thinking it's cold. Oh, maybe I could do it later. Or, I haven't got my gym kit. I shouldn't go. Or, I'm not feeling great. You just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and get out. Apparently something in the brain that shifts from the countdown being 5 to 1, knowing it's an end number, jumps you into not the thinking brain, you're just doing. So you got your gym kit laid out from the night before already. You do your countdown and you're up. The hardest bit often is just the getting up to go. The amount of drop-offs I have in my classes over winter because it's dark or it's cold or there's a bit of rain outside, it's just blows my mind. Just get up and do.
Yeah.
Stop thinking.
Stop
so
thinking.
that might help people. Maybe that works for some. Another one is tying it in with something that you're already doing, like doing you could do a workout while you're watching TV. You could do some mobility work while you're watching TV.
Definitely. Or like if you want to work in your heart and lungs, you can chuck the bike or the treadmill in front of the TV. You know what I mean?
You got anything else for people when it comes to
I think
getting
having
started?
a plan in place as well, you know, of like if you have a good program rolled out for you, you see so many people that just don't have a clue. As I mentioned earlier about Instagram, there is so much mixed information on Instagram, you know. And the thing is, a lot of people are, oh, I got all these exercises off Instagram. And I get it from some of my clients. Oh, no, I seen this on Instagram. I want to do this. And I'm like, no, you can't do that, you know. And it takes time
what?
to do it. And like even lately, there's this random stuff that comes up now, and you're like, oh my God, what are you doing? Like someone standing on a medicine ball with a barbell on their back.
Come on.
If I did that, I'd face plant and kill.
It's just
and
the problem with that is just to get clicks and attention, isn't it? And then people start watching and being like, well, I'm going to do that. And no, let's just keep everything simple.
Simple.
You don't need to overcomplicate.
And simple is best. Yeah. And the thing is, as well, is like, you know, a lot of people get it in their heads they need to change their programs all the time. I need a different program every week. And I'm like, no, you don't. And like, obviously, if you're working on rehab, you know, you're going to build up those muscles. And then, you know, I always call it the fitness test. I'll go back in a couple of weeks and test certain things that they're weak at and whatever. And I'm kind of like, you don't need a different program every week. Like, if you follow, like, I back squat I've back squat for the last 2 years.
Me too.
And lat pull downs and bench presses and Bulgarian split squats and my new things, rows. And my program is very rarely changed. I don't do any fancy stuff. It's all the same. And it's like, you know, you see it on Instagram as well and your social medias of like they grab the fat in their bellies. They know that's what women is their weakness, and they'll go, "Oh, you have to do these exercises." You click it and you just have a skit. You're like, "Mate, it's a food."
You're like, "No."
And it's just like, stop sucking women in. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you need. If you have a good program and just tick off the box of, right, okay, this is part of my life now. This is me. And that's definitely my motivation. This is me forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't see
think
my
it
life
is the
without
habit.
exercise.
Yeah. And I notice in myself, if I haven't trained for a week, I'm angry. I feel like a caged animal. My pelvic floor, I notice a lot of differences with that. And you get told, if you've got a prolapse, don't move, don't squat, don't lift heavy, don't exercise. In fact, it's the opposite information. You should be doing all of these things, but you need to work on your asymmetries. You need to work on your core. You need to work on your breath. You just need to make sure you are doing the right things for your body. So then you don't injure yourself and you don't go backwards, and you actually move forwards and you get stronger and bang, living life.
And it's scary though, like even to this day, because I actually need to remove myself from some of those prolapse groups. But I seen the other day, actually, a lady put a thing up that she's just had her surgery and what was the weight limit you were given? And she's given 7 kilos. And I'm like, it was 5 kilos when I did it 9 years ago. And it's like, oh my God, it's just crazy. And it's just
What's that? Wait,
so
5 kilos for what?
When I had my surgery and I had my sling in, I was told I wasn't allowed to lift over 5 kilos. But remember, I wasn't able to lift Sean. So I actually missed out on so much of his first years of his life because I was too scared to lift him. You know what I mean? So, it's
exactly that. People fearmonger you because you've gone to see a professional. They don't look at the person in front of you. I had that when I think I voice messaged you saying I had a heavily pregnant woman who's been told she's got an umbilical hernia and she's not allowed to lift more than 5 kilos. She's used to powerlifting, and then she's doing some yoga and she's bored. So she came to me and like, is this true? What should I do? So I tried to actually contact the person who diagnosed her with this and asked, why have you given her a 5 kilo limit? Is this just a temporary thing? What's the end game? What's the timeline? They didn't answer me. They didn't return my calls. So I worked with a pelvic floor physio that she was working with too. And then we started understanding where she was managing her pressure, how things were loading in her body, and she was lifting heavier.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's mind blowing. And that's the thing. And I think as well, like we're not putting down the professionals, you know, it's just literally that's their scope. And for us, and that's where we had our conversation. Look, we're going off track, but our conversation is us. We both have all this very similar education. We're not PT, we are PTs because we got PT certificate,
Yeah,
but then we've got our
technically.
corrective exercise specialist, which is, oh my God, so deep. Like I need to go back over that again because there is so much information there. And even for me, learning the balloon, like blowing into a balloon to get your deep core, like
It's
that was
so
just
hard.
fascinating. Like, oh my God, mind blowing. And I still haven't used it with a client yet because I'm still learning on me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I've always been the guinea pig for my clients, which is awesome.
Yeah,
But it's great because then when they do it, I can talk to them about it, like, which I find really good. So that's where I think as well is like, the surgeon, your scope of practice is this, and this is the rules, and this is it. But there is, and I've always said it, there's a gray area, a massive gray area over here. We have to find the right person in that gray area because obviously, as you know from my journey, I found the wrong gray area. And, I had surgery and doing battle ropes, I'm doing jumping squats, I'm doing front planks, and I'm still saturating with with weight. Because I didn't know, they didn't know what was wrong with me. You know what I mean? Like it was, it was just a standard PT. And I'm not saying it in a mean way as a standard PT, but because we've got extra training. So I literally had to train, like, I was in a very weak body, and that's how I learned to be a PT from my journey. I
exactly
became the
how we've
trainer
done it.
I wanted to find. Do you know what I mean? But that's the
Hmm.
thing I find as well is that there's such a big gray area with everything. And even like, even down to injuries as well. Like, oh, I can't train, I have a bad knee. Well, let's work on other things. Like, because we have the knowledge, we can teach people how to train, without having, because you do see again, qualification on a PT is what, 3 months, and they
Yeah.
come out after 3 months, and they might have done it online, and they literally just done no one face to face, and
It's
everybody's so different.
scary. It's scary how we're allowed to just train a person, especially in this niche. Pre and postpartum needs more qualifications.
100%. And even like pre and postnatal, as you know, we've done like the foundation courses, and it covered semi prolapses and, like I can never say it properly. Oh my God, the pelvic floor coming off the bone.
Levator avulsion.
Yeah. Um, you know, but that wasn't covered specifically. But then when we went to do our deep core one, or our core, oh my gosh, Mags, you know what I'm on about. It was
Yep.
covered, but it was covered even too much. It was like, oh my God, you give me too much information. And to be honest, the qualification, I personally feel I'm nearly on par with a physio because I feel so educated. And it was just
Yes.
mind blowing. And again, for me, even more mind blowing again because of sorry, I'm totally going off track, but like even to the breathing, how much your posture is affected by your breathing, it is just mind blowing, you know what I mean? And that's where I think as well is like finding, again, coming back to that, a good program, and someone supports you, someone supports the body in front of them. Not, every single person's getting the exact same program. You've got your own individualized program, and it might take you a wee bit longer to get there, but it's going to get there because you were in the right hands to get you to that point.
Thank you for an amazing episode, as always.
Okay, well, thank you. And it was lovely
Thank-
chatting to you. And if anyone has questions, please ask us because we're very happy to answer.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit subscribe to keep up with our latest episodes, and leave us a review on your favourite platform. It helps more people find us. If this episode really resonated with you, please do share with another mum. Thanks so much.